Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we're in Treaty 6 territory in the homeland of the Métis. We recognize the First Nations of Métis ancestors of this place, and by paying our respects to them, we reaffirm our relationships with one another. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please stand and welcome our first-year students to our first-year welcoming ceremony sponsored by McDougall Gawley LLP. Please be seated and we'll begin. Well, good afternoon. My name is Martin Phillipson. I'm the Dean of the College of Law, and this is now my 8th welcoming ceremony as I start my 8th year as Dean, which is rather frightening. I'm sure it's more frightening for you than it is for me. I want to welcome students, faculty, staff, cloakers, honored guests, family and friends, and those watching online. We're excited to have you with us today as we formally welcome our first-year students to the college. This ceremony is intended to be a ritual marking the beginning of a new intellectual, personal, and professional journey, one that will be transformative and enriching for these students embarking upon their legal studies. Part of the ceremony includes having our first years recite a student commitment. The commitment has been derived from the University of Saskatchewan's Learning Charter, which was established in 2010 and revised in 2018. The Charter is our commitment to opening our university to learning, engagement, and opportunities for all peoples of Saskatchewan and beyond, and in so doing, recognizes and appreciates the knowledge, diverse abilities, and the ways of teaching and learning that they bring with them. You will find the student commitment in your program, along with commitments from both the institution and our faculty. Together, these commitments define the roles each party plays in ensuring every student at the University of Saskatchewan College of Law is given an optimal learning experience. While the 126 new first years are our special guests, our extra special guests are those in the balcony. Parents, partners, grandparents, children, family, and friends. You're the support network that got these people this far, and they're going to need you even more in the next 3 years, so your work is cut out for you. The support you've provided and the support that you will continue to provide to these students does not go unnoticed, and we'll make a special point of thanking you for playing such an important role in the lives of each of them now, and more importantly, in 3 years' time at graduation, when we get rid of them. You may be interested to know that we're welcoming 126 new students today. 64% of the students come from Saskatchewan, which even with my basic mathematics indicates that 36% come from somewhere else. This year we have 5 other provinces and territories represented: British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, and the Yukon Territory. Just a couple of other things about the class. The average LSAT score was 157, and the average GPA was 84%, which is clear evidence that I would not be a classmate of yours. At all. I wouldn't be allowed near the place. We have 8 students, at least 8 students who are children of University of Saskatchewan law graduates. I think the Hall family, so Emmett Hall's family and the Wedge family, I think holds the record of 5, maybe 6 generations of that family have gone through the law school, but we have several multi-generational families, and it's one of the great things about this law school. It's also one of the oldest law schools in the country, and this is our 111th first-year class. We opened in 1912, so we have a great tradition of public service and academic success, and I know these 126 students are going to continue that legacy of commitment, personal success, and service to their communities. One last thing about the class: they have a wide variety of professional and educational backgrounds: mathematics, education, fine arts, sports management, forensic science, global studies, geology, indigenous justice and criminology, geography, nursing, human ecology, supply chain management, actuarial science. Good heavens, it's quite a broad range of talents, and I'm sure there's more than that. Okay, enough of me. As we go through the ceremony, please follow along in your programs for complete bios of each speaker and gown presenter. As the name of this event would suggest, it would not be possible without the sponsorship of McDougall-Gawley LLP. Over this summer, McDougall-Gawley now has committed $200,000 over the next 10 years to sponsor this ceremony. We're delighted and grateful for the support for what is a wonderful event. And today we have with us Mike Malani, KC, who is the chair of the Executive Committee of McDougall-Gawley LLP, a recent SD chair in business law at the college, and also a graduate of the class of 1980. And I'm going to ask Mike Malani to say a few words.
Thank you, Martin. Good afternoon, Justices of the Court, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. McDougall-Gawley is, in fact, delighted to be the sponsor of this welcoming ceremony. We're actually the oldest law firm in the province. We trace our roots back to 1891. It was Mackenzie and Brown who opened up a firm in Regina. Some of you may know the Mackenzie Art Gallery. That's the Mackenzie. And so by my math, we're actually 21 years older than the College of Law. So I think, again, by my math, and my math may be as good as your math, Martin, we actually have been welcoming graduates to our firm for 111 years. So that's one of the reasons we're really proud to be able to assist in sponsoring this ceremony. And as Martin said, I'm a graduate from 1980, and a lot of things have changed since then. My class did not have a welcoming ceremony. Now, as I recall, we were handed a schedule and wished good luck. Well, we were handed a schedule, that much I know. And I think the information technology department in the college consisted of a prof who would roll in a TV on a little table. That was it. So things have changed and have changed for the better. But this is really a really appropriate ceremony to welcome you to the legal profession, and really it's just the next step of your career. But I think it'll be one of the most memorable. So in 32 months, you're going to depart with a Doctor of Laws. You'll have been taught by really skilled professors and academics, but you'll actually leave with a lot more than that. You will have friends that you will keep throughout your career. And you'll find that it actually extends beyond your classmates or the people who are in school at the same time. You can go anywhere in the country and you will trip over a U of S law grad in courts, in boardrooms, in businesses, and they all will be part of your community. And as Martin mentioned, I was the SD Chair of Law last year. I was very fortunate to do that. And the 6 months at the college reinforced a few things, but one is that this law school is among the best in Canada. And the education you get here is second to none. It really is the case. So you've earned this opportunity. Enjoy the journey. And on behalf of McDougall-Gawley, please accept our congratulations on this next chapter. Thank you, and enjoy your afternoon.
There are 5,300 living alumni of the College of Law, so you are joining ranks. And as Mike says, and I think one of my friends in Toronto always tells me, when he meets another U of S law grad, there's an instant bond. We have alumni all across the country, from Nunavut right the way to Vancouver Island, right the way to Prince Edward Island, out to Newfoundland, and you will meet them and they will be delighted to meet you when they hear where you went to school. It's a very special place. But with that comes some responsibilities, and that's what some of our speakers will talk about today. This is the start of your professional journey. I said this to you in orientation, but real professionals will tell you that rather than me today. But I want to begin, therefore, by welcoming the Honourable Madam Justice Georgina Jackson, who is currently the Acting Chief Justice with the Saskatchewan Court of Appeal.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of my colleagues at the Court of Appeal, I'm delighted to be able to welcome you to the study of law at the University of Saskatchewan. I particularly want to thank the College of Law for undertaking this important initiative and McDougall-Gawley for its generosity in supporting it. I want to congratulate you, the new students, and your families for arriving at this most privileged moment in history. As it has been a while since I was here at this law school, I reached out to the law clerks currently articling at the Court of Appeal to ask them what they would have wanted to know on this day when they started law school from a person in my position. They told me 4 things that I want to share with you. The first is, it's okay not to be part of the 6 generations of law school that have come before. It's okay if you're the first in your family. It's okay if you have an undergraduate degree that doesn't quite look like those of your classmates. You will still succeed. You still will make a difference. I too, I was the first person in my family, and some might say I didn't turn out too badly. The second is, they wish someone had encouraged them to be generous, to make that your goal, to be generous, and not to be competitive. So much of what you are about, or will be about, especially in this first year, will feel like a competition. It need not be. They wish that someone would have said to make generosity your goal and to share your materials, to share your time, and most of all, to share your compassion. The third is, it's important to stress making good relationships right away. Reach out. Don't be anonymous. The phrase, turn on your camera, is important in real life too. Be present. Join the clubs. All of us are uncertain at some points in our lives. And you may find yourself feeling more uncertain these days than you ever have been before. But know that you're all in the same boat. Look for friendships. They're all in your class. They're there for the having. The fourth said, reputation is everything. They wish they had understood that from the beginning too. It's a small community. Law is a small community. And you need to value your reputation more than anything right from the get-go. I could add to these comments with my own, but I don't think I could improve upon them, except by leaving you with one of my favorite quotes. It comes from Omar Khayyam's The Rubaiyat. Many of you will be familiar with it, but it's particularly important this day of beginnings. It goes like this. Good friends, beware. The only life we know flies from us like an arrow from the bow. The caravan of life is moving by, quick to your places in the passing show. You're now in that wonderful caravan of life. That's the law. It will be revealed to you every day here at the College of Law in Saskatchewan. Embrace it, enjoy it. If ever you see me, come up, introduce yourselves to me. Thank you, Mr. President.
I was also the first member of my family to go to law school, and I'm still the only member of my family to go to law school. I have deep concerns that my son is about to apply, but that's another story, which I'll save for another time. Thank you, Justice Jackson. I would now like, and one of the things about being around here a long time is now I get to welcome former students to the stage who are way more accomplished than I have ever been, and it's quite a treat, but it also reminds me of my advancing years. And in that vein, I would now like to welcome the Honourable Madam Justice Natasha Crooks to the stage to bring greetings from the Saskatchewan Court of King's Bench.
All right, good afternoon. I want to thank Professor Dean Phillipson for the invitation to attend today's ceremony. It's such a wonderful opportunity to bring greetings on behalf of the judges of the Court of King's Bench for Saskatchewan. And what more exciting event than to welcome our first-year law students as you begin your journey in one of the most exciting chapters of your life and your career. Congratulations on being accepted to the College of Law. I was in your position about 22 years ago, starting as a first-year law student in this same college. And I still remember the nervousness and the uncertainty about what the next 3 years would be like, what your career will look like, what law school exams will feel like, and sometimes you don't even know what tomorrow is going to bring for you. Despite any uncertainty you may have, I can share with you two things that I know to be true about your journey. The first thing is something I know about each one of you. You are all here for a good reason. You may come from a long line of lawyers, or you may be the first in your family to go to law school. It doesn't matter. Some very experienced and intelligent people reviewed your applications and said to each and every one of you, yes, this is a person who has the strength to succeed and the potential to make positive change. The second thing I know is this: who you are in this life and in this career begins to be defined as of today. There are few moments in life where you get to reestablish yourself and start fresh. This is one of those moments. You come to law school with a clean slate. You are, over the next 3 years, defining who you are and how you are perceived in the legal community, by your colleagues, by your clients, and by the courts. You begin today to build your reputation in the legal community. And your reputation is your most prized possession. It takes a lifetime to build, but it can be lost in an instant. Develop and protect your reputation. There is no question that during this journey you will work hard and you will play hard. You will be stressed, embarrassed, elated, fatigued, overworked, exhilarated, filled with self-doubt, and sometimes you will be all of these things in the same day. But know that you are not alone. There will be approximately 125 other people going through the exact same thing, no matter how hard they try to hide it. This education will give you a platform and an opportunity to make an impact, to make a difference, to help people, to protect the rule of law, and to change lives. So embrace the opportunity. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and welcome to the College of Law.
Still amazed that people go so far after they took my first year property class. Thank you, Justice Crooks. And now in the same vein, I would like to welcome another former student, Andrea Argue, KC, to bring greetings on behalf of the Law Society of Saskatchewan.
Good afternoon, honorable members of the bench, friends at the bar, Dean Phillipson, faculty, distinguished guests, and students. It is my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of the Law Society of Saskatchewan as we celebrate the beginning of your academic journey into law. A law degree is a hard-earned and well-respected one. Your successful completion of this program will create many academic and professional opportunities for you to pursue. While the Juris Doctorate does not inevitably lead one to the practice of law as a member of the Law Society of Saskatchewan, I do sincerely hope you will consider using your education for that purpose. The Law Society of Saskatchewan is created by the Legal Profession Act for the purpose of exercising the government's authority to regulate the legal profession. It is independent of the government. In other words, at least in our province and still in Canada, the legal profession is still a self-regulating one. As such, it is our shared duty to continue to promote public interest, guard against incursions on the rule of law and a free and democratic society, and promote respect and confidence in our judicial system. It is in fact our privilege to do so. To gain entry into the legal profession, a Juris Doctorate, such as the one you are embarking on, is in part a means to achieving that end. Once in the profession, lawyers are governed by the Code of Professional Conduct. You have the duty, once you are a lawyer, to act honorably and with integrity at all times. I note that your commitment today that you will be expressing as a student is also underscored by your duty to undertake learning with that integrity and ethical integrity and academic integrity. So with great confidence and of course pride as an alumna as well at the U of S, do I have to say the years, Justice Crooks? Just a little more than years, not too many. I anticipate your time here will serve you well for your future in the law. So with that, please accept my sincere congratulations on your admission into law school, wishing you wellness and success in all of your future endeavors.
Thank you, Andrea, for those remarks, and again for surviving at least one class, maybe more. Was it just one? Just one, I think. One and done, right? Definitely. I'd like to now introduce Dr. Irene, the Provost and Vice President Academic of the University of Saskatchewan, to bring greetings on behalf of the university, and you have to be nice to her because she's my boss.
First year law students, extra special distinguished guests, family and friends, faculty, staff and leaders of the College of Law, and honourable members of the bench. I also acknowledge here our cultural advisor, Joseph Natahau. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Dean Martin Phillipson, for the introduction and all these wonderful words of warmth and welcome. Yes, my name is Irene, and I hold the role of Provost and Vice President Academic, and it is my great honour to be here with you today to offer my greetings and to say hello, bonjour, and in the languages of the first peoples of these lands, Tansei, Tansi, Edlanete, Han, Anin, including to the ones on my right who can't quite see me at the moment. I'm joined here today by Vice Provost Indigenous Engagement, Dr. Angela Jaime. And there may be other leaders here as well. I, as a former law student and with a sprinkling of judges in my extended family and an occasional need for the services of the legal profession, I am so happy to be here. I genuinely admire the achievements and ambitions to serve that are at the core of the University of Saskatchewan College of Law. It is therefore a great privilege to be here to welcome you on behalf of the university. First year law students, you have chosen well, and as we have heard, you have been chosen. Families and friends, you can have confidence that these students will encounter studies that will tap into the potential of every student here and set them up for success that is impactful, meaningful, and lasting. After many studies, a few moots, some cases, and I imagine a fair dose of coffee as well. Faculty, staff, and leaders, thank you so much for your commitment from the College of Law to the legal profession, to research of the law, and to ensuring that justice is available to all. We do count it as a gift to hear the students today take part in the commitment pledge, that one that, as we've heard, comes from the University of Saskatchewan Learning Charter. And we are gathered here today as witnesses in Convocation Hall. This is what was formerly known as the College Building and is now known as the Peter McKinnon Building, named after the former President and Vice-Chancellor who championed the revival of this building and its historic heritage. It was the first college residing in this building, College of Agriculture, at any Canadian university. And this building was devised in the 1909 master plan. It was really the only building here in the early years, and there was agriculture, arts and science, classrooms, lecture halls, and laboratories. And the university, your university, expanded. This Convocation Hall that we're in right now was included in the original designs and was to hold some 500 to 600 people. And it was to be originally a meeting place for farmers. It became, over time, the cultural centre of the university, the heart of the university. So this space has seen convocations, it's seen ceremonies, it's seen conventions, and now it welcomes in this ceremony for first-year law students, and you're welcoming here. Thank you for bringing your spirits, your good intentions into this space, which combine with those who have come before you. Beginning law school is a special milestone, marking both the achievement of a goal to get to the start line and also all that lies ahead in this race of good intentions, and thank you for generosity as well. You'll receive your academic gowns today, symbolizing your journey into legal studies, and each of you as future lawyers will play such a role of importance in our society and be so aligned, therefore, with this university's intention to be what the world needs. We see this as a time of marking your transition to one of the most historic law programs in all of Canada. That's why family, friends, distinguished guests gather here today. You are part of one of the top research-intensive universities. You are part of something truly historic and significant in law. You now become part of an outstanding community of legal professionals. This is home to a group of such distinguished alumni, including nation builders such as Prime Minister John Diefenbaker, a champion for civil rights who, among other achievements, introduced the Canadian Bill of Rights. Alan Schmeiser, a founding member of the Canadian Human Rights Commission, who played a key role in Saskatchewan's trailblazing Matrimonial Property Act. Emmett Hall, the most recent Supreme Court Justice to be appointed from Saskatchewan still, who brought Tommy Douglas's vision of Medicare to Canada. Ted Hughes, the mighty Hughes, one of the greatest judges ever, who's best known for his tireless work as chief adjudicator in residential school settlement cases, so well supported by the high-profile Helen Hughes and her endless work for community. Tilly Taylor, the first chairperson of the Saskatchewan Human Rights Commission and an advocate for social justice in areas such as poverty, women's rights, and prison reform. We are so proud that you are joining this company and so many others whose names you and others may be bringing to mind right now. I'm so proud that you are joining this community of practice. I'm so proud that you will be joining other graduates across Saskatchewan and beyond. And as I've spoken with Dean Phillipson before, this remarkable endeavour that is taken on by the College of Law, that means that we can see justice in all places, including in deep COVID time, the community of scholars here making it possible for this College of Law to ensure that the Nunavut law program was not only proceeding, but was completed. We invite you to feel the pride of what it is to be here, the humble prairie pride, even with my New Zealand accent speaking of it, and these big blue skies. But I feel it, and I invite you to feel it as well, and to become part of growing that pride in that good prairie way. I know this sounds like a calling, and I invite you to feel that calling too. The University of Saskatchewan Learning Charter, which contains words that you'll say as students, also includes university commitments to you. We feel that calling to you as well. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to say that we understand that as a university. We understand how important it is to speak of bold ambitions and to make mutual commitments to the fulfillment of those. So with deans and leaders, we together serve the vision of the University of Saskatchewan to be among the best in the world in our areas of strength. I'm looking at them. And through outstanding research, exceptional teaching and engagement, and to be outstanding as an institution with and by Indigenous peoples and communities. Your decision to begin this journey, to come to this start line, to come to this place of beginning together in this journey together, makes this vision possible. So there is a commitment that the university is making to you today in this journey, to provide opportunities for high quality programs for learning and discovery. College of Law, tick. To ensure quality in teaching and research, College of Law, tick. To create environments that are inclusive and secure, tick. To support learning by students, educators, and community, tick. So we recognize the incredible impact that you have the potential to achieve and the support that wraps around you today. I love being in Convocation Hall because you are literally framing this moment for these first-year students, and thank you. Thank you all for being here. This is a time of commitment as students and with your university, and we invite you to be all that you've been called to be. We have been waiting for you. On behalf of the University of Saskatchewan, let me say welcome and congratulations for this important step in your education, and also for all that lies ahead in the future as professionals in law and leaders in law. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Irene. I am now delighted to welcome our keynote speaker this afternoon, the Honourable Justice April Gross. Justice Gross grew up in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. Prior to attending law school, Justice Gross studied French at the University of Saskatchewan and l'Université du Québec à Chicoutimi. You can tell I did not study French. After graduating, I was taught French by a Scotsman, but that's another story. After graduating from the University of Saskatchewan College of Law in 1997, Justice Gross served as law clerk to the Honourable Justice John Sapinka and the Honourable Justice Ian Binney at the Supreme Court of Canada. In 1998, she joined the law firm of Bennett Jones, LLP in Calgary, where she became a partner in 2006 and a member of the firm's board of directors in 2015. Justice Gross maintained a diverse litigation practice with particular experience in commercial law, estates, policing, and administrative law matters. In May of 2018, Justice Gross was appointed to what was then the Alberta Court of Queen's Bench, where she heard cases in all areas under the court's jurisdiction, co-chaired the Information Management and Technology Committee, was a member of the French Language and Interpretation Steering Committee, and served on the Family Resolution and Commercial Duty rosters. Justice Gross was appointed to the Court of Appeal of Alberta in April 2023. As a member of the Court of Appeal of Alberta, Justice Gross also serves on the Northwest Territories Court of Appeal and the Nunavut Court of Appeal, and she hears cases in both English and French. She's been involved in a variety of legal and community organizations, including the Calgary Bar Association, the Supreme Court Advocacy Institute, the Centre for Professional Legal Education, and the Scarborough Community Association. She's a regular judge at the National Alaskan Moot Court Competition, and I would like to welcome Justice Gross to the stage.
Good afternoon, Tansei, bonjour. Thank you so much, Dean Phillipson, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful ceremony. I owe a great debt to the College of Law of the University of Saskatchewan. My career and my life as a whole have been marked by opportunities and gifts that would never have been possible without this place or its people. It is a privilege and a pleasure to be back here today to share this ceremony with all of you. I want to start, like many others have done, by congratulating our guests of honor, the first-year class. It is not easy to get into law school. Being accepted reflects your academic and other achievements to date. More importantly, it recognizes your future potential. Congratulations. And, like others, I want to acknowledge the friends and family who are here today in person, online, or in spirit to celebrate our honorees. The accomplishments of these students are, at least in part, yours, and so please indulge yourselves in at least a small pat on the back. And as Dean Phillipson alluded to, lest you think you're off the hook, you are not. It has now been 29 years since my parents moved me to Saskatoon for law school, and they also had to drive me here today. I stole this binder from my father, and I believe they may have actually joined all the other proud parents in the gallery after me securing a promise from my dad that there would be no heckling and no questions from the floor. In preparing to speak to you, I wanted to make sure I understood my task, sort of like framing the issues in a legal case, which you'll all be doing a lot of. So I went to that excellent source of legal knowledge, Wikipedia, and it told me, and I'm quoting with very, very liberal use of ellipses, that a keynote is a talk that establishes a main underlying theme, or that establishes the framework for the following program of events. Now, I must confess that that stressed me out more than just a bit, because establishing the main theme or the framework for the next 3 years of somebody else's life seems like an enormous responsibility and not one that I was really that interested in taking on. I would need to read, analyze, and quote from the works of learned jurists and scholars, and I would need to review all sorts of prior such addresses and choose my words very carefully. But then I got thinking. I remember very clearly in my first month of law school that there was a slow pitch tournament, a pub crawl, and a scavenger hunt. I remember that my teammates for the hunt were Mark Hillenbrand and Scotty Wickenden. I remember the room in which I had small group contracts with then brand new professor Doug Surtees. I remember interviewing for a scholarship and not knowing what to say when they asked me what I wanted to do with my law degree because I didn't have a hot clue. And as an aside, I didn't know that you weren't supposed to say that out loud, so I didn't get the scholarship. But in all of this, I believe that there was some form of welcoming ceremony, because I'm not as old as Mike Mullaney, and that people spoke. But with great respect to those people, I don't remember a word that they said, and you probably won't either. Because you, like me, will remember what you experience, what you live, and what you learn during law school, and the people you do that with, not the soundbite from a speech. So it is not for me to establish the theme or the framework for your time at law school. Rather, my more modest task is to try to plant a few seeds that might assist you in establishing that theme or framework for yourselves. I will leave the tomes to your excellent professors, and they are excellent. What I want to talk to you about are some of the things that you can take, and that I hope you will take from law school, that you will never find in a book. If I had to have a fancy legal title, I suppose it might be Law School, the Real Ratio Decidendi. Now, there is some repetition in what I'm about to talk about with what some of my fellow speakers have already said. I have made a careful and considered decision as I sat here to continue on with what I planned rather than making up something all new. There's two reasons for that. One is that me speaking on the fly can be a really fun adventure, but also one that has great risk of going off the rails. And the second is that maybe if we repeat it multiple times from multiple different people, it will drive home the point of how important some of these things are. So, first and foremost, I hope that law school gives you friends and all that goes with friends. Intense shared experiences tend to breed great friendships, and you are embarking on an intense shared experience. That doesn't mean you're all going to experience it the same way, but it is an intense shared experience. You come here from different backgrounds and for different reasons, but you come here with a shared interest in studying law. In first year, you will share a schedule and classes with your section. Your assignments will be due at the same time, and you will have similar, if not the same, exam schedules. You will get stressed together, and you will be ready to let off steam together. You will speak a common language where a phrase, word, or even a single syllable that would be incomprehensible to others conveys immediate meaning to your classmates. Crim, cans, carbolic smoke ball, and follies. You will know whose face gets flushed when they are called upon to speak in class and who gets behind and then pulls all-nighters before exams. You will live and you will learn together. This may be the last time in your lives where you are part of such a group of people that is following such a similar path over such a sustained period. So take advantage, because these people will be with you for the long haul. I have now been out of law school for over a quarter century. But where was I this past Saturday night? At a birthday party for one of my classmates. And where did I go last night upon arriving in Saskatoon? For coffee with my co-social director from when we were in third year law. I sincerely hope that you will find your people here too. Now, I should probably make full disclosure that among Saturday's birthday party attendees were 3 married couples, including my husband and I, and that is just from our first year section alone. So if you are so inclined, you may find not only your people, but your person. Of course, not everyone you meet in law school will become a close friend. However, they will become part of your legal community. Before you know it, they will be your colleague down the hall, counsel opposite on your biggest file, the judge before whom you are about to appear, or the general counsel of the client that you really want to land. I encourage you to expand your circle as much as possible through being active in the life of the law school. Join clubs or teams that interest you. I cannot think of a career that you embark upon after law school in which these relationships would not be beneficial, if not necessary. I must caution you, though, as others have, that with opportunity comes responsibility. While building your legal network, you are also building your reputation. The way you conduct yourself in law school can start to establish your reputation as someone who is smart, honest, diligent, ethical, and a good team player. Or you can become known as someone who is selfish, arrogant, disrespectful, rude, or prone to poor judgment. I don't think I need to tell you which is preferable. Unfortunately, lawyers are often caricatured as this latter person, argumentative and opinionated, people who have an answer for everything. However, in reality, law is rarely cut and dried. It is most often about balance and choosing from a spectrum of reasonable answers or reasonable possibilities. Law school presents you with an unparalleled opportunity to learn to see problems from multiple perspectives. Your professors will teach this in class, and you will be graded on your ability to present both sides or more than two sides of a case. When you land on an argument or an answer, it will be stronger and more persuasive because you have gone through the process of understanding and considering the competing options. In my view, this is in large part why people with legal training are so often successful in areas outside the pure practice of law, such as charitable work, business, or politics. Life is full of problems and challenges. Law school does not teach you all the answers, but it teaches you how to go about finding them. And once again, your fellow travelers, classmates, and professors have an important role. You are going to spend the next 3 or so years with very intelligent people from a wide variety of backgrounds and life experiences. You will have opportunities, both formal and informal, to hear what they think about particular legal problems, policy issues, and many other topics. I challenge you not only to hear, but to listen, and to listen to understand, not to respond. Far too often, in the courtroom, in mediations, and in society generally, I see people so desperately anxious to express why someone is wrong that they have completely missed the opportunity to understand why they are right, or at least why they think they are right. Often, understanding why someone takes a certain position is as important as understanding the position itself. What brought them there? What lens are they using to see the problem? So sit back, stop typing, take a deep breath, and just listen and learn. There is nothing to lose and everything to gain. Finally, I suggest that there is no time like the present to start figuring out where and how law fits in your life as a whole. The study of law has no obvious boundaries. It is never really complete, but that does not mean that it should take over your entire life. I do not love the term work-life balance because I have never seen work as this inherently negative thing over here and life as some different, entirely positive thing over here. I prefer to try to see life as one whole with all sorts of rewards and challenges that come from all aspects of it, including work or school. But I do agree wholeheartedly with the need for balance within that life, and it is not easy to achieve. You can and you should be part of this community, this law school community, while being an engaged member of your family and of the larger community. When I preside at bar admission ceremonies for new lawyers, I always tell them that they must use their education and their privilege to the benefit of others. I encourage you to do the same. This may be in the form of pro bono legal work, but it may also be community service that is not tied in any direct way to your legal studies. You will not only serve others, but yourself and this institution. And quite frankly, from a practical perspective, as important as your legal community is, you need contacts on the outside to keep you grounded, to give you perspective, and to save you from drinking your own bathwater. The combination of forces in your life, both legal and non-legal, will assist you in achieving the physical, emotional, and mental wellness that you need to continue this journey. There is so much more that I could say, because there is so much more that your time in this law school will do for you. But if I have learned one thing over the years, it is that no matter what the content, nobody wants to listen to a long speech. So let me conclude by thanking you for your attention and wishing you all the very best on this challenging but rewarding path that lies before you. And please enjoy this day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justice Gross. She prefers to be referred to as April. Much prefers that. I should also point out she was also the gold medalist in 1997 as well. I am a little confused by one thing, though, that everybody keeps saying this is going to be the best 3 years of your life. Law school was the best 7 years of my life, but so must be some English thing. I don't know. Anyway, enough of my feeble attempts at humor. We're now going to do the cloaking. So what I would like to do is to ask the cloakers to take the stage. We're lucky to have a number of College of Law alumni, staff, and students, as well as representatives from the legal community, to present our first year students with their gowns. I'll wait till they're all on stage, and then I'll ask them to step forward while I introduce them. And what a fine-looking bunch they are, too, yes? So, Samir Awad is a College of Law alumnus and a partner at MLT Aikens, LLP. Dr. Lola Ayotunde is a professor here at the College of Law and received her PhD from the University of Saskatchewan last year. Graham Black is a College of Law student and president of the Law Students Association. Laurie Johnston-Clark is a Cree lawyer from Mistawassis Nehawak, a College of Law alumnus and founder of Johnston-Clark Law Office. The Honourable Madam Justice Mona Dovell is a College of Law alumnus and Justice of the Court of King's Bench. Joanne Moser, KC, is a College of Law alumnus and managing partner at Nychuk and Company. Dominga Robinson is a College of Law student and president of our Indigenous Law Students Association. Kimberly Vizeram is a College of Law alumnus, a partner at Stevenson Hood Thornton Bobier LLP, and current treasurer with the Saskatchewan Trial Lawyers Association. And last but not least, Nora Lee Bradley, KC, is a College of Law alumnus and executive vice president, external affairs, and chief sustainability and legal officer at Nutrien. Okay. I will step away and you can do your roles.
Alyssa Abramitz, Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Amber Adams, Etonia, Saskatchewan. Shima Ahmed, Calgary, Alberta.
David Arnott, Toronto, Ontario.
It's Costa Spock, Vanderhoof, British Columbia.
Amit Baines, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Amit Bansal, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Blake Barnes, Medicine Hat, Alberta.
Fantasia Barnes, Edmonton, Alberta.
Zach Baxter, Cranbrook, British Columbia.
Sean Becker, Edmonton, Alberta.
Michael Bergen, Camrose, Alberta.
Stephanie Bernier, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Jetta Bilski, Whitehorse, Yukon.
Drake Bodie, Verdun, Manitoba.
Christopher Bolin, Melfort, Saskatchewan.
Alicia Bossens, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Connor Bradley, Calgary, Alberta.
Priya Braithwaite, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Elka Brass, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Cameron Braun, Calgary, Alberta.
Taylor Breon, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Laura Chartier, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Frank Chow, Fox Valley, Saskatchewan.
Samanjit Day, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Sam Clayton, Sherwood Park, Alberta.
Amy Constant, Melfort, Saskatchewan.
Kelly Cross, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Brandon Dovin, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Joshua Delaney, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Veronica Derpothier, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Samantha Dorish, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Jennifer Draper, Wainfleet, Ontario.
Janice Duchek, Brandon, Manitoba.
Ethan Edwards, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Ahmed Al-Dasuki, Edmonton, Alberta.
Jenna Ernst, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Taylor Ernst, Calgary, Alberta.
Sebastian Farkas, Calgary, Alberta.
Ella Farthing, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Noah Fayad, Edmonton, Alberta.
Ethan Fidelic, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Jackson Gap, Ottawa, Ontario.
Niru Gill, Edmonton, Alberta.
Alexandra Goldsmith, Warman, Saskatchewan.
Jared Graham, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Avery Gray, Moosomin, Saskatchewan.
Qasim Hayder, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Adam Hendry, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Brad Heskin, Yorkton, Saskatchewan.
Andy Heidelbaugh, Nipawin, Saskatchewan.
Lauren Hill, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Sarah Hogue, Gravelburg, Saskatchewan.
Nick Holroyd, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Anna Holt, Ottawa, Ontario.
Oliver Horner, Calgary, Alberta.
Ethan Hupe, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Joy Inez, Regina, Saskatchewan, and the Philippines.
Giuliano Ivanelli, Calgary, Alberta.
Liam Jewett, Sherwood Park, Alberta.
Ivy Jin, Calgary, Alberta.
Brandon Johnson, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Quincy Johnson, Clive, Alberta, and Wilcox, Saskatchewan.
Taha Jamal, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Vereen Judge, Hamilton, Ontario.
Sadia Khan, Toronto, Ontario.
Edward Kim, Edmonton, Alberta.
Ashley King, Regina, Saskatchewan. Jill Clausen, Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Cassie Konzaleski, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Katie Conkin, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Fiona Koschek, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Logan Croker, Calgary, Alberta.
Amy Lalonde, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Alyssa Lee, Edmonton, Alberta.
Maxwell Lee, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Natasha Lee, Calgary, Alberta.
Michael Letts, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Ethan Lynn, Burnaby, British Columbia.
Natasha Lees, RM of Aberdeen, Saskatchewan.
Alkita Luca, Calgary, Alberta.
Natalie Marone, Toronto, Ontario.
Taryn McGarry, Minster, Alberta.
Terry Lynn Mitchell, Yorkton, Saskatchewan. Morgan Warren, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Brooklyn Morrison, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Ryan Machowski, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Morgan Mueller, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Oliver Munn, Calgary, Alberta.
Mary Misek, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Abdullah Naveed, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Sydney Neufeld, Aberdeen, Saskatchewan.
Esmond Osman, Calgary, Alberta.
Vanessa Penkew, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Trayton Pernitsky, Wilkie, Saskatchewan.
Karina Pilon, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Colton Podgorski, Warman, Saskatchewan.
Karine Poitras, Tracadie, New Brunswick.
Bethany Pratchler, Nokomis, Saskatchewan.
Camille Shapirica, Calgary, Alberta.
Marin Rackhouse, Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
Megan Roche, Pilot Butte, Saskatchewan.
Noah Remard, Lethbridge, Alberta.
Ravleen Stanny, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Arthur Schuler, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Evan Schultz, Red Deer, Alberta.
Grace Semko, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Anjani Sharma, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Tiffany C2, Calgary, Alberta.
Tia Soderlin, Macklin, Saskatchewan.
Ryan Stefanovic, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Guantan, Unionville, Ontario.
Adam Tatelman, Burnaby, British Columbia.
Josh Thorson, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Sahaj Tour, Calgary, Alberta.
Christopher Toy, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Laura Underwood, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Tanner Van Coonet, Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, and Lac La Ronge Indian Band.
Molly Waldman, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Becca White, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Brooklyn Willick, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Alexa Wisner, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Alex Woitis, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Brock Worms Row, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Jarrett Young, Airdrie, Alberta.
Once again, a round of applause for all our cloakers. And I now want to invite Professor Heather Haven, Associate Dean Academic, to read the Educator Commitment on behalf of the faculty of the College of Law, and you can find that on page 5 of your program.
Thanks, Martin. And I'm looking out, and I know there are some professors that are here, and Martin, you're one of them too. So I'm going to ask you to read along with me, so I'll just join in. As we have mentioned, we are taking these commitments from the Learning Charter, and we take them seriously. We know that we're going to be asking the students to give a commitment, and we as faculty also feel this is really important, that we're making a commitment to you as well. So as a faculty member of the University of Saskatchewan College of Law, I will, to the best of my ability, embody the learning behaviors we are teaching to others, maintain an appropriate teacher-learner relationship, bring research, scholarship, artistic work, and professional activities into teaching and mentorship, align learning outcomes, teaching activities, and assessment, develop respectful and inclusive learning environments that support student learning. Communicate and uphold clear academic expectations and standards, perform fair and relevant assessment for and of student learning, solicit and reflect on feedback from students, peers, and others, and engage in lifelong learning and continuous enhancement of teaching practice.
Thank you. I will now ask our first year students to rise and then repeat after me as we recite the student commitment, which is found on page 3 of the program. So I will say each line and then we'll get you to repeat it. This is your first test. Okay, let's see if we can figure this one out. As a law student of the University of Saskatchewan College of Law, I will, to the best of my ability, engage in a respectful way with local, national, and global members of community and society. Engage in a respectful way with local, national, and global members of community and society. Contribute to the creation of a respectful and inclusive university community. Contribute to the creation of a respectful and inclusive university community. Actively engage in the learning process. And undertake all learning activities with academic and ethical integrity. Undertake all learning activities with academic and ethical integrity. Okay, everyone, please join me in a warm round of applause. In fact, let's have a crazy, enthusiastic round of applause. That was pretty good. I give that a 10 for enthusiasm. And this is the College of Law class of 2026. Welcome aboard. You can be seated. For me, it would be the class of 2030, but I won't. That joke fell kind of flat last time, but just keep digging that hole. Eh? All right. We now come on to something that I like doing, which is where we give away money. I'd ask Dr. Irene that she remembers that when she does my budget this year, when she gives us lots of money. I want to begin seriously, though, by saying that the College of Law is grateful to all our donors for their gifts. I'll stop briefly and tell you my personal story. And the faculty have heard this before and it's boring, but I think it's worth stating. I came here as a graduate student in 1989 from the United Kingdom. I did well in my law studies in England, but law school was free then in England, and also my parents didn't have much. So there was no way I could have come to graduate school in Canada without a scholarship from the College of Law at the University of Saskatchewan. That completely transformed my life. I had no idea I was going to be a professor. I had no idea how I was going to live in Canada. I certainly had no idea I was going to be standing on a stage doing stuff like this. And in my 32nd year as a law professor, which is quite crazy. Is that right? No. 36. Math is not my strong point. 60 foot blah blah. No, I'm kidding. I began teaching in 1991, so where does that make it? 20? Yeah, I was right. See, I shouldn't second guess my math. I've just ruined the story completely, absolutely torpedoed it. But it means a lot to me that this school made an investment in me in 1989 to bring me to graduate school for something I couldn't afford to do, and it changed my life completely. A huge opportunity. And I want you to know that this school is a school of opportunity. And this is a place where you now have been given an opportunity to transform yourselves and hopefully transform your societies and your communities and those places from which you come. And we rely heavily on gifts, large and small, from donors to make those opportunities possible. So we're moving to the awards section of the afternoon, and we're incredibly grateful to all those who donate in large sums and small sums to make sure that students can be as successful as they can possibly be. We rely on the financial support of alumni and friends to assist us in funding scholarships, but also for bursaries. For many of you struggle through law school, and with the cost of living and the cost of illegal education now, there are financial struggles for many of you, and we're very grateful to donors who help us get you through that. For some students, without the financial support they receive, law school would not be an option. With that, I want to begin with the presentation of our entrance awards. The Gary and Tammy Bugeaud Centennial Entrance Award goes to Ashley King. The William Elliott Scholarship is presented to Costas Bach. I'd now like to invite Andrea Agu, KC, the President of the Law Society of Saskatchewan, back on stage to present the Law Society of Saskatchewan Scholarship. This year's recipient is Adam Tatelman. He's got a very long way to go, so we should have Jeopardy music or something on there, right? So we can think of something to do. It's a long trip. So again, Adam Tatelman. I'd now like to invite, thank you, Andrea. I'd now like to invite Ms. Erin Eccleston to present the MLT Aikens LLP Scholarship in Law. Erin.
Good afternoon. I'm Erin Eccleston. I'm a partner with MLT Aikens here in Saskatoon. Wonderful to be on campus this time of year. Wonderful to see former professors, former classmates, and the future of the legal profession in Canada. It's my pleasure to present the MLT Aikens LLP Scholarship in Law. This year's recipient is Janice Duchek.
We have two recipients of the next award, which is the Harris and Loretta and Raymond Earl Parr Memorial Scholarship. The first recipient is Avery Gray. And the second recipient of the Harris and Loretta and Raymond Earl Parr Memorial Scholarship is Corinne Poitras. I now want to present the Morris and Jackie Shumiacha Scholarship in Law, and this year's recipient is Drake Bodie. I now want to ask Sean Sinclair, another former student who survived some of my classes, to join me on stage to present the Law Foundation of Saskatchewan's 25th Anniversary Scholarship. And this year's recipient is Maren Racco. She could have come the other way. Congratulations. I now want to present the Justice John H. Marr Memorial Scholarship, and it's awarded this year to Joshua Delaney. I'm now happy to present the Thomas P. and Peter S. Dace World War II Memorial Scholarship, and it's awarded to Ivy Jin. And I want to present the P.E. Mackenzie Entrance Scholarship, which this year goes to Terry Lynn Mitchell. We have 3 James M. Stevenson Entrance Scholarships, and I will first ask Lauren Hill to come to the stage. The second award goes to Mary Mizek. And the third goes to Ethan Fidelic. Who may also win the award for the best suit of the afternoon as well, I think. Looking particularly sharp. Okay, I'd now like to present the Robert L. Pierce and Eleanor D. Pierce Entrance Scholarship, and this scholarship goes to Maren Racco. And finally, no, not finally, almost finally, the J. Barry Thompson Scholarship is awarded to Alex Wojtas. And finally, in the awards, we have the Mohinder Chada Award in Law, and that is presented to Amy Constant. Now, before we conclude our ceremony, I'd like to welcome our cultural advisor, Joseph Netauhau, to the stage to bring some words of welcome.
Thank you, Dean Martin Phillipson. You have math difficulties. I have time management difficulties. I thought 2 o'clock was, that was when I eat my peach, so sorry. Agtatapskat na no kumaganik. Kinas komt na. Omotaga pe tagoti tsikmina uniki kumag. So I really thank all the parents that have come here, the family members that come here to join your first-year students and your sons and daughters. It's a big step. In that period of my life, which is like we call it Uskaiwiwin. Uskaya means being vibrant and youthful. And that's when you're kind of wild, you know. And but you also compromise, you know, you're rebellious, you're resisting. But on the other side, you're confident, you're vibrant, you have other skills when you're going through that age. That's when our young people are called on to become part of ceremony. They're called on to be a helper within the elders' community. They become a helper to help in ceremony. And that helps to develop their character, but also helps them to develop skills and knowledge within an Indigenous worldview. So it's not to, forget that you're on Indigenous land, but to be aware that you are amongst friends and relatives that will help you in times of need. That always has been the case. Danny Muskow was telling me when his great-great-grandfather was traveling through Regina on a horse, he saw some settlers. And the father was injured his leg. And so this Anishinaabe pulled over, parked his horse, his great-great-grandfather, and he said, "Danse." Howard probably had to use sign language. Says, "It looks like you need some help." At first they were afraid. And I think today there's still some fear sometimes with our people because we're not totally understood. And so he just said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of you." And he spent 2 weeks making sure that that father was ready to get back on his wagon and take his family to where he was going to settle, farm, whatever. And so the father wanted to return that favor, to give them some money or something, right, back then. And Danny Muscat's great-great-grandfather said, don't worry about it. It's what we do around here. It's what you do to help each other. So keep that in mind. I'm a storyteller, so whenever I get onto a podium, there's going to be a story. But I'm also a musician. And there's a song that Tyrone Tatusis, my niece-thou is a very good word to know, means brother-in-law or potential brother-in-law. It could be for women too, they have another term. And that's the thing that I keep in balance. I don't use women's terms, I use men's terms. There's laws like that that are bind us, in terms of who we are. As males or females, we use a language that's appropriate as being passed down by women, by men. So I just want to teach you a few words. So this first word is very long. This is a song I'm learning to sing for Friday, for the 40th anniversary Indigenous Studies program. So everybody say, if I can remember it, it's so long. Kiskanahamasoin. And that means higher education. Well, actually, that means education, but kiche. Add kiche onto that. Kiche. Kiskanahamasoin. That's higher education. Now say kiche. Kiskanamatuikamik. And that's the place where you learn, which is the College of Law, which is all the faculties here at the university. So Kiskanamatuikamik is the building where you learn. The buildings I learned were teepees. We have a teepee right beside the College of Law. Thank goodness, with all great effort and 900-degree weather, Dean Martin Phillipson and the staff put up this teepee beside the teepee, beside the College of Law. We managed to get it up. It was quite a feat. It was so hot. So say Sakawati then. And that means yeah. That means to shout out. And for women, it might be a trill, like what they call a buffalo call. La, 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 la. Anybody know how to do that? So on the count of 3, I want both of you to try out either or both. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Very good. So that's what the word means, Sagawatitan. Let's shout out and let's do this trail. And the last word is Pasigo Achihuin. That means bringing up the energy and to celebrate, to be in a state of glory, I guess, rejoice. Pasigo Achihuin. So I'm going to try to remember the song. Maybe you can remember it. And just, it's online. It's an honor song for the USask. And it's a gift from Tyrone Tatusis and the Faculty of Education to the university. And from Tyrone Tatusis was my brother-in-law who passed away about 5 or 6 years ago. And so... Kichikiskanamatoen, Sakawatitan, Pasikuachihuinanoen. On right. Kiskanamasoen, Kiskanamatoen, Sakawatitan, Pasikuachihuinanoen. One more time. Kitsikis Gnamasoen, Kitsikis Gnamatoen, Sagawatitan. Now you have to say, you have to not only sing that word, you have to shout out for joy. Pasagawati uenanawen, hey, so everybody shout. Yeah! So welcome, first years, and welcome, family, and have a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph. And if one of our first years has the coolest suit, Joseph has the coolest shoes. Definitely, so check out his shoes. So that concludes our ceremony and our awards presentation. It's a very special day for you, and we try to make it as special as possible. It's the formal start of a long journey, hopefully a lifelong journey. I say to all the first year students, the hardest thing about law school is getting in, and the second hardest thing is getting through first year. So we'll look after you this year, send you on your way, and we'll be here to support you. But you have obligations too. We both have obligations to each other. And most importantly is to take care of each other and be a community for the 3 years that you're here. We are here to take care of you. We're your stewards for the next 3 years. Hopefully not behavioral stewards, but just people who take care of you. But most importantly, we want to welcome you all from wherever you've come from, all those different places, to the College of Law, which will be your home for the next 3 years and will be a lifelong home, hopefully, for all of you. I'd like to ask the guests to wait inside and to allow our first year students to exit Convocation Hall and gather outside on the steps in front for a photo before we move over to Marquis Hall for a reception, and I hope you can join us. I want to thank our speakers this afternoon. I want to thank our cloakers. I want to thank Katie and Angela and all the staff from the College of Law who helped organize this afternoon's event. I want to again thank McDougall Gawley for their generous sponsorship of this event, and for those of you upstairs who've traveled from far and wide to be part of this wonderful ceremony. Thank you, everyone. And so if everybody can stay seated, and Sherry, can I ask that you lead the students outside in the rows to line up for the photograph. Students, please follow Sherry and remain in alphabetical order to speed up this process. Thank you all for attending, and again, we hope you'll join us in Marquis Hall. Thank you very much.